Kreacher, the house elf who served the House Black with loyalty for many years. He was extremely devoted to all members of the Black family except Sirius Black, whom he hated, because Sirius treated Kreacher as if he was not worth anything and ordered him around harshly.
Kreacher! That's enough of your bile. Away with you!
Of course, Master.
Kreacher especially held Walburga Black in high regard and spoke to her portrait with devoted affection. Kreacher often attempted to calm her portrait down whenever it gets angry and referred to it as his mistress, even though he wasn't truly Walburga, who had long since passed away. Like all house elves, Kreacher was extremely smaller than a human. He was described as having bloodshot eyes, many folds of skin, and white hair growing out of ears. After Walburga's death, Kreacher let the home fall into disarray, doing little if any cleaning. He was also strongly loyal to Regulus Black. Out of all members of the Black family, Kreacher's bond with Regulus appeared to be the strongest. In 1979, Regulus was still a Death Eater. Lord Voldemort told him that he needed a house elf. Regulus volunteered Kreacher, saying it would be an honor to serve the Dark Lord. Voldemort took Kreacher to the Crystal Cave and forced him to drink the potion in the basin, so that Voldemort could place the Salazar Slytherin's locket in the basin. The potion was the same one Dumbledore drank.
Kill me!
Kreacher drank, and as he drank, he saw terrible things. Kreacher's insides burned. Kreacher cried for Master Regulus to save him. He cried for his mistress Black, but the Dark Lord only laughed. He made Kreacher drink all the potion. He dropped the locket into the empty basin. He filled it with more potion. Voldemort then left the cave, leaving Kreacher to drink from the lake, as any water conjured evaporates and die at the hands of the Inferi. However, Voldemort had never cared to learn the house elves can operate out of the location the wizards and witches cannot. He never thought that they might have magic that he didn't. So Kreacher, being a house elf using his own special type of magic and not contained by the enchantment of the cave, was able to disapparate from the cave and follow his master's orders, come home when he finished his task. Regulus had begun to have doubts about serving as a Death Eater, but was unable to act against the Death Eaters and Voldemort. Kreacher told Regulus of what had happened in the cave, and Regulus worked out that the locket was a Horcrux and was the reason behind Voldemort's immortality. That was the deciding factor in Regulus' defection. He created a duplicate of the locket and placed a note inside for anyone wanting to destroy the Horcrux to find. I have stolen the real Horcrux and intend to destroy it as soon as I can. Regulus later had Kreacher take him back to the Crystal Cave. Regulus drank the potion himself, ordered Kreacher to switch Slytherin's lockets with the fake one, and then go home and destroy the real locket, leaving Regulus to die in the cave. For the last few seconds Kreacher was there, he saw the Inferi's hands pulling Regulus into the water. Regulus also ordered Kreacher to never tell his family what had happened to him. Kreacher left as ordered, but was unable to destroy the locket despite his many attempts. This inability to complete an order of his master may have driven him to madness. Kreacher was loyal only to pure-blood wizards in general. After Walburga Black's death, Sirius Black became Kreacher's master. Despite having been considered a blood traitor and disowned from his family, Kreacher was hostile to Sirius and to the entire Order of Phoenix when they used 12 Grimmauld Place as their headquarters, but was forced to serve Sirius however, because Sirius was the last of the family to which he was enslaved. But he felt no true loyalty to him, and whatever Kreacher's faults, it must be admitted that Sirius did nothing to make Kreacher's lot easier. He was known to steal Black family heirlooms during the Order's cleaning efforts and hide them in his den in the kitchen cupboard. As a house elf, Kreacher overheard sensitive information but was forbidden to disclose it. However, in December 1985, when he witnessed Harry and the Weasley children arrive by Porky after Arthur Weasley was attacked, Sirius told him to get out of the kitchen. Kreacher took this to mean that he was allowed to leave the house and went to the Malfoy family, who were close relatives of the Blacks, and told Narcissa Black and Bellatrix Lestrange about Harry and Sirius' close relationship. Kreacher called Narcissa and Bellatrix Miss Sissy and Miss Bella. He was very fond of them, and since they must have been lovely to him, Kreacher must have been willing to do a job for them, especially against Sirius. Later, when Harry Potter used the Flow Network to ask if Sirius was there, Kreacher lied. This convinced Harry that his vision of Sirius being tortured in the Department of Mysteries was real, and led him and his friends to attempt to rescue him. This resulted in the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, in which Sirius was murdered by Bellatrix. Sirius left all his belongings, including Kreacher, to his godson. Harry, who had no desire to have anything to do with Kreacher, ordered him to work in the kitchens at Hogwarts with the other house elves, at Dumbledore's suggestion, where he and the other house elves could keep a close watch on him. This eventually turned out to be Harry's advantage, as Kreacher along with Dobby told Draco Malfoy for him when he suspected Malfoy to be up to no good. They helped Harry learn that Draco was using the Room of Requirements. Kreacher disliked Harry at the time and only followed his orders because he had to. He insulted Harry and stated that Draco would be a better master. Dobby fought him and knocked out several of his teeth and tearfully told him that Harry was a great wizard. At the same time that Peeves apparated and egged him on verbally to enrich them further. In 1997, Harry made Kreacher tell him about Regulus Black, who he had finally deduced was the RAB who took Salazar Slytherin's locket from the Crystal Cave. Kreacher told Harry, Ron and Hermione the story of the two lockets and his inability to destroy the real one. He told Harry that Mandankus Flitter stole the real lockets, and Harry rewarded him with Regulus' fake locket for tracking down Mandankus. Kreacher's joy as being given a Black family heirloom as his own caused him to eventually change his view of Harry. He even started to treat Hermione way better, whom he had previously disdained as a mudblood. Hermione turned out to be right about Kreacher. He was nice to those who treat him well. Because of Hermione's kindness, Kreacher grew more respectful towards Muggleborns. The morning of Harry, Ron and Hermione's attempt to break into the Ministry of Magic to find the real locket of Salazar Slytherin, Kreacher served them a breakfast and was waiting for them when they returned. But after successfully obtaining the real locket and escaping the Ministry, Harry, Ron and Hermione were no longer able to go back to Grimmauld Place because they let Yaxley inside the Fidelius charm. Harry and Hermione concluded that would be too risky to summon Kreacher since Grimmauld Place was most likely taken over by Death Eaters. It is unknown what Kreacher was doing in that period, but it's known that sometime before the Battle of Hogwarts, he somehow came to the Hogwarts kitchens. Kreacher led the House Elves of Hogwarts in the final battle against Lord Voldemort and his Death Eater for Harry Potter, and for the sake of the memory of his long-dead master Regulus Black. Fight for my master, the defender of House Elves, fights the Dark Lord, in the name of brave Regulus, fight! It is not specified whether he survived the Battle of Hogwarts or not, but Harry, after defeating Voldemort, wondered if Kreacher could bring him a sandwich, implying that he did in fact survive. It is unknown if he continued to work in the Hogwarts kitchen or else, but responding to a fan's question of what happened to Kreacher after Harry Potter books ended, J.K. Rowling replied with, "He died age 666, meaning Kreacher passed away later in life at this age." Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and see you again in the next video.